नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto number 1, chapter number 18, text number 45. Tadarya dharmaha praviliyate nrinam vandashramachara yutas trayi mayaha tato pita kamabhiniveshitatmanam sunam kapinam iva varnasankaraha tadarya dharma praviliyate nrinam varnashramachara yutastrayimayaha tatorata kamabhivinishetatmananam sunam kapinam iva varnasankaraha.
Tadarya dharma praviliyate nrinam varnashramachara yutasrayimaya kama vivinishetatmana kapinamiva varnasankara.
Tadarya dharma praviliyate nrinam varnashramacharya yutasrayimaya tato arthakama vivinishitatmana kapinamiva varnasankara. Tadarya dharma praviliyate nrinam varnashramacharya yutasrayimaya kama vivinishitatmana kapinamiva varnasankara.
Tada, at that time, Arya, progressive civilization, Dharmaha, engagement, Praviliyate, is systematically vanquished. Nrinam, of humankind, Varna, caste, Ashrama, orders of society, Acharayutaha, composed in a good manner, Trayimayaha, in terms of the Vedic injunction, Tataha, thereafter, Artha, economic development, Kama Bhiniveshitaha, fully absorbed in sense gratification, Atmanam, of men, Sunam, like dogs, Kapinam, like monkeys, Iva, thus, Varnashankaraha, unwanted population. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. At that time, the people in general will fall systematically from the path of a progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagements of the caste and the order of the society and the Vedic injunctions. Thus, they will be more attracted to the economic development for sense gratification, and as a result, there will be unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. Translation with repetition. At that time, people in general will fall systematically from the path of a progressive civilization in respect to the qualitative engagements of the caste and the order of society and the Vedic injunctions. Thus, they will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, and as a result, there will be an unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. Purport. It is foretold herein that in the absence of a monarchical regime, the general mass of people will be unwanted population like dogs and monkeys. As the monkeys are too sexually inclined and dogs are shamelessly in sexual intercourse, the general mass of population born of illegitimate connection will systematically grow astray from the Vedic way of good manners and quantitative engagements in the caste and order of life. The Vedic way of life is the progressive march of the civilization of the Aryans. The Aryans are progressive in Vedic civilization. The Vedic civilization destination is to go back to Godhead, back home where there is no birth, no death, no old age, and no disease. The Vedas direct everyone not to remain in the darkness of the material world, but to go towards the light of spiritual kingdom, far beyond the material sky. The qualitative caste system and the order of the life are scientifically planned by the Lord and His representative, the great rishis. The perfect way of life gives all sorts of instruction in things, both material and spiritual. The Vedic way of life does not allow any man to be like monkeys and dogs. A degraded civilization of sense gratification and economic development is a byproduct of a godless or kingless government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The people should not, therefore, begrudge the poor administration they themselves elect. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Purport. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So this is the verse. The chapter is called Maharaj Parikshit cursed by a Brahmana boy. So this verse and the previous few verses is describing that if a king like Parikshit Maharaj, because he was cursed by a Brahmana boy, what will be the consequences if a good monarchy or a good king is not ruling? So here it is said, at that time the people in general will fall systematically from the path of progressive civilization. And they'll be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, and as a result, there will be an unwanted population on the level of dogs and monkeys. So earlier there were monarchy system where the king was, just like Bharat Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Ambarish Maharaj. They were Rajarishis and they were ruling the kingdom because since they were devotees, they had understanding about the progressive way of life. and accordingly they were directing the people, enacting the laws. But in present time, it is very precarious because such kings who are devotees are not there. The leaders are themselves blind. And Prabhupada in the purport mentions kingless government of the people, by the people, and for the people. This is the present day democracy. Democracy means the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And who is electing such leaders? By majority of votes. And who are these people? They're Shudras, by and large. So it's a very dangerous situation, and we are part of that situation. Godless civilization. And Prabhupada here in the verse it's mentioned, people will be more attracted to economic development for sense gratification, which we are seeing. We are very fortunate that somehow we came in touch with a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, and to some extent our eyes have got opened. We have got some understanding of what is real progress, what is important to aspire for in life. For many people, it is money, women. We still may get tempted, but at least we know these are our anarthas. So, it is Prabhupada's grace, it is Prabhupada's mercy that we could understand. We should not think that we were intelligent enough to understand. It is purely His grace that this understanding to some extent has come about. Although there may be knowing doing gap, still our senses may be pulling us, still our mind may be at times full of lusty thoughts. But at least we know what is the right thing to be done. So, sense gratification is order of the day, and that is how we have grown up. That is how our value system has got built. That is how we see people all around us acting. And we get influenced. We have got influenced. Circumstances play a very important role. They say that every moment 6 million bits of information is falling on our system, and a small fraction of that information which is falling on a system, we have conscious control to not get affected. For example, now I'm talking, this bell is ringing. I don't have beyond a point control over some things we can control. I can probably tell okay, class is going on, ring later. Or the fan, the temperature, or the sound which is coming from outside. I cannot tell, don't drive the vehicles, class is going on. Or assuming some smell is coming from the kitchen. This information is falling, but I don't have conscious control. So we get influenced, we get impacted. Just like COVID was there, everywhere there was infection. So all that thing was how we can protect ourselves, how we can insulate ourselves. There were talks about social distancing. So likewise, we should not simply blame people are like that, environment is like that. What we can do to protect ourselves, that is important. And fortunately, by Prabhupada's mercy, we have enough of ammunition, enough of resources, enough of knowledge, enough of the strength required to fight this war with Maya. We should realize. So, never ever we should feel hopeless. I was giving a class in Jaipur. Many times, because sense gratification is the order of the day, everyone is acting, and as time is progressing, things are getting more and more degraded. World is becoming more and more westernized. The way people dress, the way people interact, the way people live. I was in Bangalore. Uh, there are many PGs, just like you have co-education. The name of the PG is co-living. So earlier, we used to have a concept of girls' PGs or boys' PGs. Now there are some PGs which are co-living and very common. So there, in one building, there'll be 60 rooms, and boys and girls are staying. And with the contaminated environment, we can best understand what will happen. So this is the order of the day. What is going on in the internet? What we, when we walk around, what we see. As I said, 6 million bits of information is falling on our system. So what do we do? We're living in that environment. The leaders are blind, the laws are being enacted. What is allowed, what is not allowed is based on ignorance. So Prabhupada explains, the sword of knowledge is given by Krishna. We have knowledge. Prabhupada has given. And when one serves the Guru and Krishna in order to hold the swords of Krishna's instruction, now knowledge is not enough. One has to serve Guru and Krishna in order to hold the sword of Krishna's instructions. Theoretical knowledge, or that's why sevaya, service, engagement is very important. When one serves the Guru and Krishna in order to hold the sword of Krishna's instructions, what is a sword? Sword is sword of Krishna's instructions. Balrama gives one strength. When one serves Guru and Krishna to hold the sword of Krishna's instruction, Balrama gives spiritual strength. Balrama is Nityananda. This Balarama, comes with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them are so merciful that in this age of Kali, one may very easily take shelter of their lotus feet. So, just like Balarama came with Krishna, who is source of spiritual strength, Bala, same way Nityananda Prabhu came with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them are so merciful that in this age of Kali, in which we are all living, which is degraded, sense gratification is the order of the day. Just like we said, COVID, we have to protect ourselves. How to protect? We have sword of knowledge. But to hold the sword of knowledge, you need Bala. Bala comes from Balaram, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu. One may easily take shelter of their lotus feet. They come especially to deliver the fallen souls of this age. So we are fallen of this age. Which age? Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, which it's very degraded. Sense gratification in the order of day. Papi tapi yata chilo harinama udharilo. Their weapon is Sankirtana, Harinama. Thus one should accept the sword of knowledge from Krishna and be strong with the mercy of Balrama. We are therefore worshipping Krishna and Balrama in Vrindavan. So we are therefore worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us the Yuga Dharma, the Harinama, Sankirtana, and to hold that knowledge, to hold that sword, the strength is coming from Lord Nityananda. If one has no connection with Nitai, Balarama, then even though one is a very learned scholar or Jnani or has taken birth in a very respectable family, these assets will not help him. Never ever we should be overconfident. Sometimes we may do some things, we may memorize some verses, we may follow certain technique, or we may feel that now for the last 3 months, 6 months, I have understood the game. Vishwamitra Muni also understood the game. Shaubari Muni also understood the game. Therefore they went underwater, Shaubari Muni. But one moment, it's over. These assets will not help him. We must therefore conquer the enemies of Krishna consciousness with the strength received from Balarama. Therefore, morning sadhana is very important. Therefore, the prayers are very important. On a daily basis, we are asking for strength. On a daily basis, we are asking for mercy. Daily basis, we are taking a medicine which will disinfect us from the contamination which has come about. Daily basis, we are taking some medicine which will keep us away from the attacks of Maya. Now, Mahatma Gandhi, he defined, although we know that he had limitation in his understanding, he has written a book called My Experiments with Truth. Unfortunately, he was not guided by a pure devotee, but he was trying, using his intelligence, using his experience. Prabhupada also in one place says at the age of 36 years, he gave up sex. Although there are some question marks. Prabhupada says he was so determined, there is audio, he was so determined that he said that I will drive away the Britishers, and he did it. So he says that what is temptation? Temptation is, what is sense gratification? Is a promise, is an allurement that by doing that activity, we'll become more happier than what we are now. It's a promise. That may be illusion or that may be cheating. For that we need transcendental knowledge. But otherwise, the definition of temptation is, you see, as human beings, or not only human beings, everyone, there are two motivating factors for us to act. Only two, whether it is a materialist or a spiritualist. One is to increase our pleasure, increase our happiness, increase our joy. And what is the second one? To reduce our struggle, our miseries, our pain, our problems, our challenges. Only two motivations. Including spiritualist. That's a different thing. Having this higher knowledge, they are looking for higher pleasure, spiritual pleasure, pleasure in serving the Lord. But it is again to achieve that pleasure. So, sense gratification is a promise by Maya that by indulging in it, you will become happy. your happiness will increase, and we fall for it. As devotees, we should understand that I had shared last time, knowing doing gap. We may know certain things, but there will be some gap between our doing and knowing. In our chanting, we know we have to chant attentively, but there's a knowing doing gap. In control of senses, there's a knowing doing gap. In our reading attentively, there's a knowing doing gap. No doubt, this gap can be reduced if we get the mercy of the Lord. How fast the gap reduces, there are a lot of factors come in play. Our sincerity, how much we are pleasing Prabhupada, how much mercy we have got. So, we have to be patient. Enthusiasm, patience, and determination. A significant word here is Achyuta Bala. The spiritual master is certainly very merciful to his disciples, and consequently, by satisfying him, a devotee gets strength from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one seriously desires to return home back to Godhead, one must therefore become strong enough by pleasing the spiritual master, for thus one gets the weapon to which to conquer the enemy, and one also gets the grace of Krishna. So we can wholeheartedly engage Krishna's service, Prabhupada's service. Keep mind engaged to the best of our ability. Simply getting the weapon of jnana is not sufficient. One must sharpen the weapon by serving the spiritual master and adhering to his instruction. Then the candidate will get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See how Maya, just like you said, Maya gives a promise of allurement, temptation. We get tempted. Once there was a man, he got lost in the forest. Suddenly he saw a lion, heard the sound of the lion, and he got so fearful, so much in anxieties, so much in fear, started running. Having not seen the lion, he started running. And then when he turned back, he actually saw the lion chasing him. And he's running. When we are in some situation like that, then you can even run faster than Usain Bolt when life is at stake. So he was running, and the lion is chasing him. Finally, fortunate, by the time he could pounce on him, catch hold of this man, he reached a tree and started climbing that tree. Just then the lion reached, and he had climbed a branch of the tree at a safe distance from the lion. He couldn't jump and catch hold of him. So there was a breath of relief. He is now sitting on a branch, and the lion is howling, is just staring at him. When he'll come down and he'll have a nice meal. So while he was sitting on a branch, he thanked Lord that somehow his life got saved. Just then he saw there were two mice, rats, on the same branch in which he was seated. At that corner where the branch was connected to the trunk, these two rats were going in circles. One rat was white in color, the other one was red in color, black in color. And they were nibbling on the branch, eating that same branch which was connected to the trunk. So he saw that, he got scared. Half the branch was already eaten. and they were constantly moving and nibbling on the branch. And down was the lion looking at the man. Now, since he had lost his way in the forest and was hungry, was thirsty, not eaten for maybe a few days, so much of hunger, so much of thirst. While he was contemplating that what to eat, how to quench his thirst, suddenly a drop fell on his face. And when he touched that drop, it was honey. And then he licked that honey. Oh, it's so sweet. And then he looked up. On top was a honeycomb. And from that honeycomb was dripping the honey. Imagine a person who has not eaten and was not drunk for many days, thirsty, and getting honey. Honey is honey for even a person who is well fed. So he licked his tongue like this, and drops of honey started falling. And he's licking and he's drinking that honey. Now, while he is drinking that honey and enjoying the sweet taste, what he forgot? Two things he forgot. What is that? Those rats, that fear of rats nibbling on the branch, and the lion which was sitting down waiting for him. Our situation is like that. These two rats represent Kala, day and night, which is eating our life. With every passage of the Prabhupada used to say that when we celebrate birthday, one more year you have died. We celebrate, no, I'm 21 years. 21 years you have died out of whatever finite number of years you have on this planet. What is that lion representing? Death, which will devour you one day for sure. No matter how strong the branch is, this rats will nibble. Just a question of time, it will fall. And what is that honey which is dripping from the top? Materialistic pleasures, sense gratification, promise of Maya, enjoy me, you will be happy. And we get so absorbed. Prabhupada here is explaining in this word, sense gratification will become the order of the day. Get so absorbed in sense gratification, different permutation, different combination, economic development centered around sense gratification, and get so enamored by sense gratification, so lost that we forget that one day death will devour us. Kala is devouring us every day. So, where does this knowledge come? 99.9999% people are not aware of this. Or if they are aware, it is just at a very theoretical level. स्वामी जी खाली हाथ आए थे, खाली हाथ जाएंगे, थोड़ा पैसा दो. नहीं, वो मुश्किल है थोड़ा. क्या लेके आए थे? So our actions, again, big knowing doing gap. Our actions don't match what we speak. So, as devotees, we know. And how will this awareness come? Death is there, death is a reality. Kala is a mighty force, it is representative of Krishna. Only by association. Nashta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata seva. Daily reading, daily chanting, daily praying, daily begging for mercy. Otherwise, money sweeter than honey will be lost. Big erudite scholars lost. One time there was a lion. He got a golden bangle in the jungle. Somebody had lost. And that lion had become very old. Because he had become old, it was difficult for it to move, to chase the animals in the forest and get its food. And day by day, he was becoming weak, at times, even not able to walk. So, since he got a golden bangle, he made a plan. And he had also not eaten for days. Prabhupada also says, this, even king of a jungle, food doesn't come and fall on his foot. He has to work. What is that verse? Nahi suptasya simasya. So food will not come and fall. So he has to work. Now he is not able to walk, not able to this thing. So what he did, he took this golden bangle and put in his hand. And one villager was passing by. From a distance, he saw the lion, he got scared. He wanted to run, but he did not run. Why? Golden bangle. And this lion started speaking. This golden bangle is of no use to me. Don't ask me how you spoke, but which language you spoke. So this golden bangle is of no use to me. Why don't you take it? Come take it. So that villager, he says, but how can I trust you? He says, this lion said, see, you can see I have become weak and old. Gone are the days when I used to kill people. And also I've been living in forest, association of so many sannyasis. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva. I have also become saintly. I also feel there is no point in killing unnecessarily. Take it. Take it. Take this golden bangle. So this man, he said, baat to theek hai. Looks saintly also. And he's become weak also. He said, see this, my teeth, see my this claws, these all have become old. I don't think even if I want to, I can do. Take it. So that man heard all that, contemplated for a while, got tempted, and came closer to the lion to take that golden bangle. And moment he came closer, the lion caught hold of him and started devouring him, killing him. Before he could die, the man said, alas, alas, I got tempted. I should have used my intelligence. Now this example is how Maya invites us with golden bangle, with diamond rings, and so many allurements. These stories are just to reflect it is happening with us. That man standing on the branch, sitting on the branch, it may look foolishness. He's licking honey. It is with us. It's happening to us. We are like that man. That lion, golden bangle, getting I am a saintly person. Maya is also saintly. Beautiful women. Words are like honey. What is that? In Bhagavatam it says, beautiful face. It looks like a flower, autumn flower. And invitations. So alluring. So saintly. But we fall for it. It's happening with everyone. This looks foolishness. Why this man got invited by the tiger? Why he fell for it? He shouldn't have. He should have a common sense. Yes, that man had common. Unfortunately, we also don't have common sense. It's happening with us. That's why knowledge is not enough. Knowing that it is lion, knowing that it's a golden bangle is not enough. We require strength. So never we should be overconfident. I have knowledge. I have understanding. I can now decipher what is Maya. No. Different mama Maya dhuratya, different permutation, different combination, cross, subtle temptations will come. And on top of it, our intelligence, all kinds of intelligence, mind, senses. There was one child, he behind the house was a canal. And there was a lot of current, more so when the dam was opened. So a lot of flow of water. So father was always telling her, don't go to this canal and swim. Don't ever go to this canal and swim. There's a lot of current. Can be very dangerous. So child also, no, father, I'll not go. So one day, this child came back home fully drenched with a swimming trunk. The father shouted at him, screamed at him, why did you go? Why did you went for swimming? I told you not to this thing. So this child, very innocent, said, sorry, father, sorry, I got tempted to swim. So the father, next question was, why did you get tempted to swim? I told you not to go to the canal. I told you not to swim. He said, Dad, I had the swimming trunk with me and therefore I got tempted when I went near the canal. What was the next question of father? Why did you take the swimming trunk to the canal? So the child said, I took the swimming trunk to the canal so that in case I get tempted to take a bath, I don't have to come back home to take the swimming trunk. So Maya's traps are there not only in our senses, in our mind, in our intelligence. Sitting place of Maya is what? Senses, mind and intelligence are the sitting places of lust. Our plans, our thoughts, thinking, feeling, willing. Everywhere Maya is entered. Let me just try it. Let me try it once. Nothing. 1 minute से थोड़ा कुछ होता है. Intelligence will give ideas. One time only. So, never trust them. That's why Prabhupada says, never trust the mind. Mind, if it is controlled, is a friend. Otherwise, it's an enemy. But, having said that, there's a knowing-doing gap. Tomorrow onwards, we cannot decide, I'll not trust the mind. We cannot decide, our intelligence will be pure. You cannot decide. There are some neural networks, there are habit loops operating, there are samskaras, there are vasanas, what we have seen in the past, what we have stored, what programs are running. Everyone is a unique, everyone has different programs, different habit loops. So hence, we have to follow the process. For that, we require focus. For that, we require strength. For that, we require to follow the instructions of Prabhupada. Then we'll get the strength. And then we can pass this test, pass this attacks of mind.